Roy Baumeister is a psychologist who's devoted his career to studying the qualities in human beings that lead to what he calls positive outcomes. In this fascinating field, researchers have found that two traits are most consistently associated with success: intelligence and willpower. In Baumeister's book entitled Willpower, we learn that efforts to permanently increase intelligence have failed, but people can, in fact, improve their willpower. Baumeister and his colleagues have shown that taking certain actions to improve willpower is the surest way to a more successful life. Moreover, they've shown that willpower is like a muscle that can be built with practice, but also if you don't actively exercise your willpower, your capacity to do so will atrophy, just like your stomach muscles if you stop doing sit-ups. They've even learned that because willpower is associated with a certain part of your brain, maintaining glucose levels in your blood to feed that part of your brain is critical for sustaining your willpower. Looked at from another angle, a group of researchers has shown that more than talent, practice is what determines mastery over any given skill or ability. Malcolm Gladwell, in his book Outliers, popularized an important body of work that showed that the path to mastery requires 10,000 hours of practice. Books with titles like Talent is Overrated have been published to make the point. But in addition to thinking about uncertainty and willpower, there's one more thing I want you to will yourself to remember today. I want you to think about how you can use time effectively and for good in this complex world. Back in Iowa, my mother used to read to me the writings of Martin Luther King. In Dr. King's letter from a Birmingham jail, he writes about the need to understand the urgency of the present. He recounts an experience with a white moderate, an ally of the civil rights movement, who wrote to him saying that he, Dr. King, was in too great a hurry and, quote, the lessons of Christ take time to come to earth. African Americans, the white moderate said, would eventually be granted their civil rights. Dr. King responded, and I quote, "Such an attitude stems from a tragic misconception of time and a strangely irrational notion that there's something in the flow of time that will inevitably cure all ills. Actually, time is neutral. It can be used destructively or constructively. More and more, I feel that the people of ill will have used time much more effectively than the people of goodwill. We will have to repent in this generation, not merely for the hateful words and actions of the bad people, but for the appalling silence of the good people." You know, for myself, with all the willpower I can muster, I try to bring the sense of urgency in Dr. King's words to my work today. I do this with an understanding that I still have no idea of what the future may bring. After all, I had no idea that I would not only get my medical degree, but also a PhD in anthropology at an institution that is known as a small technical school just up Huntington Avenue from the historic and legendary campus of Northeastern University. I had no idea that I would help found an organization, Partners in Health, with my colleague Paul Farmer and others, and work in 10 countries. I had no idea that my experience at Partners in Health would lead me to take charge of the World Health Organization HIV/AIDS initiative, where we try to get 3 million people on treatment by 2005. And with only minimal academic administrative experience, I was given the enormous honor of becoming president of Dartmouth College. And finally, completely out of the blue, President Obama last year asked me to stand as a candidate to lead the World Bank Group. Always with some trepidation, I embraced these completely unexpected opportunities, and now I find myself in one of the most interesting jobs in the world. In closing, my challenge to you is this: set bold goals, deliberately and consciously build your willpower, and use your time well. You are so fortunate. Like my father on the streets of Seoul, though in a different way, you face a world of uncertainty. Don't fear that uncertainty. Embrace it, use it. Uncertainty means that nothing is predetermined. Uncertainty means that the future is yours to shape with the force of your will, the force of your intellect, and the force of your compassion. Uncertainty is freedom. Take that freedom and run with it. And please don't forget to eat some noodles along the way.